For our common Creator, all beings are only parts of the existence of a whole essence, spiritualized by Himself. But what do we see here now? One form of beings created by Him, in whose presence He has placed all His hopes and expectations for the future welfare of everything existing. Taking advantage of their superiorities, lord it over other forms and destroy their existence right and left. And what is more, they do so, presumably, in His name. The whole terror of it is that although such phenomenal anti-God acts take place here in every house and on every square, nevertheless it never enters the head of any of these unfortunates that these beings whose existence I or we are now destroying are equally dear to that one who has created them, and that if He created these other forms of beings as well as ourselves, it must also have been for some purpose. Having said all this to my friend, the priest Abdil, I said further, and what is most distressing is that every man who destroys the existence of other beings in honor of his honored idols does so with all his heart and is convinced beyond all doubt that he is doing a good deed. I am quite sure that if any one of them should become aware that in destroying another's existence he is not only committing an evil deed against the true God and every real saint, but is even causing them in their essences sorrow and grief, that there should exist in the great universe, in the likeness of God, beings, monsters, who can manifest towards other creations of our common Creator so consciencelessly and pitilessly. I repeat, if any of them should become aware of this, then certainly not one among them could with all his heart ever again destroy the existence of beings of other forms for sacrificial offerings. Then, perhaps, on the earth also would begin to exist the 18th personal commandment of our common Creator, which declared, "Love everything that breathes." This offering to God of sacrifices by destroying the existence of His other creations is just as if somebody from the street should now break into your house and wantonly destroy all the goods there, which have taken you years to collect and cost you years of labor and suffering. Think, but again think sincerely, and picture to yourself what I have just said, and then answer, would you like it, and thank the impudent thief who broke into your house? Certainly not, 1,000,000 times not. On the contrary, your whole being would be indignant, and would wish to punish this thief, and with every fiber of your psyche you would try to find a means of revenge. In all probability you would now reply that although it is indeed so, I am, however, only a man. That is true, you are only a man. It is good that God is God and is not so vindictive and evil as man. Certainly He will not punish you, nor will He revenge Himself upon you, as you would punish the mentioned robber who destroyed the property and goods it had taken you years to collect. It goes without saying God forgives everything. This has even become a law in the world. But His creations, in this case people, must not abuse this all-gracious and everywhere penetrating goodness of His. They must not only care for, but even maintain all He has created. But here on earth, Men have even divided beings of all other forms into the clean and the unclean. Tell me what guided them when they made this division. Why, for instance, is a sheep clean and a lion unclean? Are they both not equally beings? This also was invented by people, and why have they invented it and made this division? Simply because a sheep is a very weak being and moreover stupid, and they can do to it just what they like. But people call the lion unclean simply because they dare not do to it what they like. A lion is cleverer, and what is more, stronger than they. A lion will not only not allow itself to be destroyed, but will not even permit people to approach near. If any man should venture to approach near to it, then this Mr. Lion would give him such a crack on the noodle that our valiant's life would at once fly off to where people from Albion's Isles have not yet been. I repeat, a lion is unclean simply because men are afraid of it. It is 100 times higher and stronger than they. A sheep is clean merely because it is much weaker than they, and again, I repeat, much more stupid. Every being, according to its nature and to the gradation of its reason attained by its ancestors and transmitted by heredity, occupies its definite place among beings of other forms. A good example for clarifying what I've just said is the difference between the already definitely crystallized presences of the psyche of your dog and of your cat. If you pet your dog a little and get it used to anything you please, it will become obedient and affectionate to the point of abasement. It will run after you and cut every sort of caper before you just to please you all the more. You can be familiar with it. You can beat it. You can hurt it. It will never turn on you, but will always humiliate itself still more before you. But try the same on your cat. What do you think? Will it respond to your indignities as your dog did, and cut the same humble capers for your amusement? Of course not. Even if the cat is not strong enough to retaliate immediately, it will remember this attitude of yours towards it for a long time, and at some time or other will get its revenge. For instance, it is said that it has often happened that a cat has bitten the throat of a man while he was asleep. I can quite believe it, knowing what may have been the cat's reason for it. No, the cat will stand up for itself. It knows its own value. It is proud. And this is merely because it is a cat, and its nature is on the gradation of reason where, according to the merits of its ancestors, it should be. In any case, no being and no man should be angry with a cat for this. Is it its fault that it is a cat, and that owing to the merits of its ancestors, its presence occupies such a gradation of consciousness of self? It must neither be despised for this, nor beaten, nor ill-treated. On the contrary, one must give it its due, as one occupying a higher rung on the ladder of the evolution of the consciousness of self. By the way, my dear boy, concerning the reciprocal relations of beings, a former famous prophet from the planet Desagroensgrad, the great Arhunilo, now already the assistant to the chief investigator of the whole universe in respect of the details of objective morality, once said,